Hey Steelers Nation, it's Joe Rockey with the Pittsburgh Syndicate. In this episode, I'm going to be breaking down my prediction for what's going to happen on Monday night. So, when we look at this, to me, it's going to be a very telling game. Not like a must-win or anything like that, but telling in the sense of, is this team where we thought they were 2 weeks ago, or were they just dominating in a very bad preseason against some of the worst teams in the NFL? And that's what we're going to find out. When I look as far as predictions of what's going to happen in this game, one of our linebackers, my estimation, probably Alexander, are going to light up Watson. The way that we used to light up Lamar until he stopped playing against us, we are going to light up Watson. On that note, for you people, before you start commenting now, Lamar Jackson's been a starter for 5 years. He's played 3 times against the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's afraid to play against us. And I believe our linebacking core is going to step up and hit Watson in the exact same way. Watson was not accurate at all last week. And it was very upsetting watching the Steelers defense get gashed underneath with easy passes against the Niners. I do not foresee them allowing that to happen week in and week out. The other major thing that I do not foresee happening is seeing Joey Porter basically not hitting the field. I know that statistically he had 8 snaps, but the reality was he should have been on the field for half of them. And I believe Porter is going to get a much greater share in snaps, and much more than just only because they have 3 receivers on the field, but because I think he's going to show throughout this game he warrants more and he warrants more. Tomlin does have a tendency of not giving rookies love, especially early. That's a fact. But if we get into a situation where it looks like we're just not using Porter for some unknown reason, that's not okay. Because from what he's shown in the preseason and in the coverage during camp, this guy can play. This guy can cover. And I already believe he's better than Cooper. And I think that that's a matchup that we really can take advantage of. Is that when they go 3 wide, Joey Porter should be able to shut down Cooper. And once you do that, the Cleveland passing game gets into trouble very, very quickly. Shutting down Nick Chubb is agenda number 2 with the new built Cleveland Browns offense. And that is the scary point of this game. Will the defense be able to hold up at the point of attack, or are we going to be a sieve up the middle the entire season? That is the fundamental question that we're going to find out, and quite frankly, what is the hinge of my entire prediction for this game. Because if we get to a spot where Chubb is able to get 5 yards at will, you're not going to win this game. There's just no way around it. And if you get to a spot where it's like, oh, we're holding the 3 or less, then you are going to win. And it's that black and white. Because Cleveland has the ability of controlling the ball like crazy. And we have already shown that Canada is still rushing out the ability of doing 3 and outs like crazy. So when we look at the offensive mix, it does come down to, does Kenny Pickett become accurate again? And do they let him throw the ball past the sticks again? Because if you don't do either one of those 2 things, you're not going to be able to get consistent first downs in the NFL. So when we look at this, I do believe that we're going to see Kenny Pickett's accuracy return. I think that's a very easy prediction to make in this game, but it's something that I'm very, very heavily relying upon. That the accuracy is going to return. I'm also predicting that George Pickens is bringing in at least 8 catches. And when you look at that, Pickens bringing in 8 catches is going to be 100 yards. And that's the recipe of winning in this NFL. 100-yard receiver, open up the running game, and dominate. Because even though Cleveland held Burrow to under 100 yards last week, it was during a monsoon and Burrow didn't look healthy. I do not foresee that being an issue this week. Although their pass rush was real, the Steelers do a better job than Cincinnati does against the Browns pass rush. And it's kind of always been that way. Burrow's worst record in the division is the Cleveland, which is weird, but it's true. So when we look at this and say, are the Steelers going to be able to control the ball by getting first downs and pushing the ball downfield? I think yes. There's a massive height advantage with George Pickens. There's a massive advantage in the center of the field with our tight end matchup on their center of the field defense. And I think Najee is going to have a chance to go crazy. I think that when we look at this game for the all-in prediction, I think that the worst case scenario is we're letting up 5 yards a clip and we never get anything going offensively. And it becomes like Cleveland, just a little bit slower in between the process of losing. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think the offense is going to actually show up and put some points on the board. And we're going to make the game one-dimensional from Cleveland's offensive standpoint, where they're going to have to throw their way back into it. And the Cleveland pass blocking offensive line is not that good. I'm projecting at least 2 sacks overall between Watt and Highsmith. And when you throw in the sacks to end the drives, and you throw in the fact that we're going to put up the points, I think that this whole season is going to be reset essentially. By the end of the night on Monday night, the entire division is going to be 1-1. Cincinnati is going to be Baltimore. And I do believe that we are going to beat the Cleveland Browns and get this whole season reset in week 2. So here we go, Steelers. Here we go. If you look in the top left, you'll see more footage of our predictions for the Cleveland Browns. The bottom left is local football flavor.